The room went silent the moment Katt Williams said her name. Not a casual mention. Not a throwaway joke. A warning. And according to people who were there that night, the tone of his voice changed so sharply that even the crowd, a room full of fans expecting comedy, suddenly realized something serious had just entered the conversation. Because the name he dropped was Teyana Taylor. And what he suggested next has the internet spiraling into one of the most explosive celebrity debates of the year. For weeks, rumors had been quietly circulating across entertainment blogs that something strange was happening behind the scenes of Hollywood. Projects going quiet. Meetings being cancelled. Phone calls suddenly not returned. People inside the industry were whispering the same unsettling phrase. Doors are closing. But nobody knew why. Until Katt Williams walked on stage and dropped what many viewers are now calling a bombshell that could shake the entertainment world. Because according to him, the sudden silence around Teyana Taylor's career isn't random. It's deliberate. A calculated shutdown. And if what he hinted at is even partially true, it could mean one of the most talented multi-hyphenate artists in the industry is being quietly pushed out of the spotlight for something far deeper than fans ever imagined. The moment the clip surfaced online, the internet exploded. Millions of views overnight. Reaction channels dissecting every sentence. Fans replaying the footage again and again, trying to understand what he meant when he said the words that set social media on fire. They are not scared of her talent. They are scared of what she knows. That single line ignited a storm. Because suddenly people began connecting dots. Old interviews. Strange project delays. Quiet cancellations. And one mysterious film project that insiders say has powerful people in Hollywood extremely nervous. But the most shocking twist. According to whispers now spreading through industry circles, Teyana Taylor might not just be another performer caught in the machine. She might be a witness. And if Katt Williams is telling the truth, Hollywood may be scrambling to make sure her next project never sees the light of day. Because the story behind that film might expose something the industry has spent years trying to keep hidden. And the deeper people dig into this mystery, the more unsettling the timeline becomes. The moment the clip surfaced online, the internet didn't just react, it detonated. What started as a routine comedy appearance from Katt Williams suddenly turned into what fans are now calling one of the most unsettling industry callouts in years. Because when he brought up Teyana Taylor, the tone of the entire room shifted. This wasn't a punchline. This was a warning. According to people who attended the show, Katt paused mid-set and looked directly into the crowd before saying something that immediately sent shockwaves through the room. They're not scared of her talent, he said slowly. They're scared of what she's seen. For a moment, the crowd didn't laugh. They didn't cheer. They just stared. Because anyone who has followed Katt Williams' history knows exactly what happens when he starts speaking in that tone. The same tone he used when he lit up the internet with industry callouts during explosive interviews and specials that left entire celebrity circles scrambling for damage control. And now, suddenly, the name at the center of his latest comments was Teyana Taylor. Within hours of that clip appearing online, social media turned into a battlefield. Fans began sharing old interviews, resurfacing forgotten industry rumors, and pointing out something that had quietly puzzled people for months. Teyana Taylor's career trajectory made absolutely no sense. On paper, she was thriving. Her acting performances were getting serious praise. Her creative projects were gaining attention. Directors were openly talking about how talented she was behind the camera. And yet, certain massive opportunities seemed to vanish right before they could fully take off. Projects that once generated buzz suddenly went quiet. Announcements that once looked like the beginning of huge deals suddenly faded from the headlines. And the deeper people looked, the stranger the pattern became. Because this wasn't the story of someone losing momentum. This was the story of someone whose momentum kept being interrupted. And that's exactly the point Katt Williams appeared to be hinting at. To understand why his comments carry so much weight, you have to rewind to the beginning of Teyana Taylor's rise. Long before the award buzz, the film roles, and the directorial ambitions, she entered the entertainment industry in a way that almost no one else did. Not through one lane. Through several. She started as a teenager from Harlem with an undeniable creative spark that caught the attention of major industry figures early. Music, choreography, performance, she was everywhere. But more importantly, she was present in rooms that most young artists never see. Rooms where deals were made. Rooms where alliances were formed. Rooms where careers were quietly shaped behind the scenes. At the time, many people assumed she was just another talented young performer learning the business. But according to people who watched her closely during those early years, she was doing something else at the same time. She was observing. Watching how power moved inside the industry. Watching who controlled the decisions. Watching who really held influence behind the public-facing brands. Those observations became even more significant when she entered one of the most powerful creative ecosystems in modern music history. The circle surrounding Kanye West's Good Music era. That wasn't just a label. It was an entire cultural machine connecting music, fashion, art, and film. Being inside that environment meant witnessing how entertainment power actually operates at the highest levels. Contracts. Creative ownership. Industry politics. And according to several insiders who later spoke about that era, Teyana Taylor wasn't just another artist in the room. She was paying attention. But the turning point that made people start questioning everything about her career came years later, during a moment that shocked fans across the internet. Her sudden announcement that she was stepping away from music. When she posted that message online explaining that she felt unseen, unheard, and underappreciated, it sent a wave of confusion through her fan base. This was someone with talent, connections, and a loyal audience. Why would someone in that position suddenly walk away from the industry lane that had built her reputation? At first, many people assumed it was simply creative frustration. But then more details emerged. She had reportedly asked to be released from her label multiple times before that moment. Not once. Not twice. But repeatedly. And every time, the requests were denied. For industry veterans watching from the outside, that raised a disturbing question. Labels don't usually fight to hold on to artists who aren't producing major returns. When a company refuses to release someone despite multiple requests, it usually means that person holds some kind of value that executives don't want to lose control over. Eventually, she did break free from the label system. But something interesting happened next. Instead of disappearing, she pivoted. Toward film. Toward directing. Toward storytelling. And that shift is exactly what Katt Williams claims made the industry nervous. Because performers can be managed. Actors can be cast or replaced. But directors control the story. Directors decide what the audience sees. Directors determine what makes it into the final cut. According to Katt, that shift from performer to storyteller changed how certain powerful people in the industry began viewing Teyana Taylor. She stopped being talent, he reportedly said during that same set. She became a problem. And that's where the rumors about a mysterious film project began resurfacing. A project insiders say has been surrounded by an unusual amount of silence despite once having major studio interest. A project that reportedly draws heavily from real cultural experiences. A project that some fans now believe may contain references to things powerful people would rather never see on screen. Suddenly the internet began connecting dots again. Old interviews resurfaced. Industry tweets were analyzed. Even comments from other celebrities began to look suspicious in hindsight. But just when people thought the story couldn't get any more intense, another clip from Katt Williams' performance began circulating online late that night. And what he said in that second moment made the entire situation feel even more explosive. Because according to him, the industry isn't just nervous about Teyana Taylor's next move. They're terrified of it. And if what he hinted at next is true, someone may be working very hard to make sure her most dangerous project never reaches the public. The second clip surfaced less than 12 hours after the first one, and when it did, the internet practically combusted. Because if the first moment sounded like a warning, the second sounded like an accusation. Once again, the voice at the center of the storm belonged to Katt Williams. But this time the tone wasn't playful, mysterious, or even sarcastic. It was surgical. They ain't blacklisting her because she's difficult, he reportedly said during the set. They blacklisting her because she learned how the game works. The words traveled across the internet like lightning through dry grass. Within minutes, fans began digging deeper into the timeline of Teyana Taylor's career again, and the more they looked, the stranger the pattern appeared. People started noticing something they hadn't paid attention to before. Every time Teyana Taylor seemed on the verge of breaking into an entirely new level of influence, something unexpected happened that slowed the momentum. Projects delayed. Announcements quietly disappearing. Major collaborations that were teased publicly, but never fully materialized. At first, those things seemed like normal entertainment industry chaos. But when people placed the timeline side by side with the explosive claims Katt Williams had been making in recent months, a different picture started forming. Because this wasn't the first time, he had accused powerful entertainment structures of quietly pushing certain people out. Earlier in the year, Katt had already shaken the industry with interviews and performances where he named names, challenged long-standing narratives, and questioned how power actually moves behind the curtain of fame. Some celebrities laughed it off. Others went silent. But nobody could ignore how many fans were suddenly paying attention to what he was saying. And now the focus had landed squarely on Teyana Taylor. The next wave of speculation began when an alleged insider message appeared on a private entertainment forum known for occasionally leaking real industry information. The message claimed that several studios had quietly backed away from potential projects connected to Taylor over the past year despite strong interest early in development. The alleged reason? Fear. Fear that giving her full creative control over a project might open doors that powerful executives prefer to keep closed. The message spread like wildfire across social media. Reaction channels began posting dramatic breakdowns. Fans began asking the same chilling question. What exactly could Teyana Taylor reveal that would make studios nervous? That's when another piece of the puzzle resurfaced. A film project that had once generated enormous buzz. According to early reports, the project had been pitched as a deeply personal story rooted in the culture she grew up in. The kind of project that studios love promoting when they want to celebrate authenticity and new creative voices. The kind of project that gets framed as a groundbreaking opportunity for a multi-talented artist stepping into directing. At first, everything seemed to be moving forward normally. Meetings happened. Interest grew. Trade publications briefly mentioned the project as something to watch. Then suddenly the momentum stopped. No release date. No major updates. No promotional push. Just silence. At the time, people assumed it was a normal development delay. Film projects stall all the time for logistical reasons. But now, with Katt Williams' comments echoing across the internet, fans began revisiting the timeline with a different perspective. Was the silence really just a delay? Or had something happened behind the scenes that changed everything? The speculation exploded when another rumored detail surfaced from someone claiming to have worked near the project during early development. According to the anonymous post, the story being developed contained themes that reflected real experiences inside the entertainment world, experiences that some people might prefer never reach a wide audience. The post didn't name any specific individuals. It didn't reveal plot details. But it included one line that immediately became a viral screenshot across social media. Some people realized too late that she was telling more truth than they expected. Suddenly the theory Katt Williams had hinted at started sounding less like a conspiracy and more like a possibility. Because in Hollywood, storytelling is power. Actors can deliver lines. Performers can follow scripts. But directors shape the narrative. They decide what scenes stay. What moments get emphasized. What truths slip quietly into the frame where millions of viewers can see them. That's exactly the point Katt reportedly hammered home later in his performance. When you control the camera, he said, you control what history remembers. The comment triggered another wave of debate online. Some fans believed he was exaggerating for dramatic effect, the way comedians often do. Others believed he was speaking from real experience about how the entertainment industry protects itself. And then the conversation took an even darker turn. Because another rumor began circulating, one that involved leaked text messages allegedly exchanged between two entertainment executives discussing concerns about certain, unpredictable creators gaining too much influence behind the camera. The authenticity of those messages remains unverified. But one sentence in the screenshots ignited another internet firestorm. Creative control is dangerous in the wrong hands. Nobody mentioned Teyana Taylor directly in the messages. But fans immediately connected the dots. The theory spread across platforms overnight. Reaction videos reached millions of views. Even other celebrities began posting cryptic tweets about artists needing to protect their voices and own their narratives. Meanwhile, Taylor herself remained mostly silent. No dramatic statements. No public accusations. Just occasional posts about her work, her family, and her creative projects. But sometimes silence can make a story louder. Because the longer she stayed quiet, the more people began wondering whether there was truth behind the rumors swirling around her career. Then, late one night, another clip from Katt Williams' performance surfaced. This time the room in the video sounded almost tense. Because right before the clip ended, he delivered one final line that made the entire situation feel like a ticking clock. "They don't fear what she already did," he said calmly. "They fear what she might still show." And that single sentence sent the internet into its most intense frenzy yet. Because if Katt Williams is right, the most dangerous part of this story might not have happened yet. The third wave of chaos hit the internet like a thunderclap. By this point the situation had already spiraled beyond gossip blogs and celebrity fan pages. What started as a few shocking remarks from Katt Williams had now turned into a full-blown internet investigation. Fans, bloggers, podcast hosts, and industry watchers were all trying to piece together the same puzzle. Why did it feel like Teyana Taylor's career had suddenly entered a strange silence, just as her creative power seemed to be expanding? Because the more people looked, the more unsettling the pattern became. Within days of the first clip going viral, several entertainment insiders began dropping cryptic comments across social media. None of them directly confirmed Katt's claims, but their posts carried the kind of vague tension that only fueled the fire. One writer from a major entertainment magazine tweeted, "Some people in Hollywood don't like artists who learn the business too well." Another producer posted a message that instantly went viral: "The industry loves talent. It hates independence." The posts didn't name anyone, but the internet knew exactly who people were talking about. Suddenly, older interviews featuring Teyana Taylor began resurfacing. Fans clipped moments where she spoke about creative ownership, about the frustrations of navigating contracts, about wanting full control over the stories she tells through music and film. At the time, those comments sounded like normal artistic ambition. Now they sounded like clues. Because if Katt Williams was telling the truth about one thing, it was this: Hollywood has always been comfortable with performers who stay inside their assigned lanes. Singer, actor, dancer. But someone who moves between all those roles and then steps behind the camera to direct their own stories. That changes the power dynamic completely. Directors don't just perform ideas. They decide which ideas exist. And that realization led the internet back to the mysterious film project again. The one insiders had been whispering about. The project that was supposed to mark a major new chapter in Teyana Taylor's career as a director. Early reports had described the project as deeply personal. A story rooted in culture, identity, and lived experience. Something that would showcase a creative voice rarely seen in big studio filmmaking. Then the updates stopped. The timeline went silent. No promotional campaign. No official explanation. Just a quiet disappearance from the entertainment headlines. Normally a stalled film wouldn't attract much attention. But when Katt Williams started suggesting that powerful people might be nervous about the stories she could tell, the silence suddenly felt louder than any press release. That's when another alleged leak hit the internet. This time, it was a screenshot of an email supposedly exchanged between two entertainment executives discussing upcoming film projects. The authenticity of the screenshot hasn't been verified, but the message spread like wildfire across social media because of one specific sentence. "Some stories are better left untold." Within hours, the screenshot had millions of views. Comment sections exploded. Fans began asking whether the industry had quietly decided that certain narratives were simply too risky to bring to the screen. Meanwhile, celebrities began reacting in subtle ways. One well-known rapper posted a cryptic message: "Creative freedom scares the wrong people." An actress who had previously worked with Teyana shared a post that read, "Protect artists who tell the truth." None of the messages confirmed the rumors, but they added more fuel to the wildfire. And then came the moment that made the entire story feel like a countdown. During another performance, Katt Williams returned to the subject again, but this time he sounded less like a comedian and more like someone delivering a warning to the entire entertainment industry. According to audience members, he told the crowd something that instantly changed the tone of the conversation. "They think shutting doors stops the story," he said. "But when somebody knows the truth, the story always finds another way out." The clip spread online within minutes. By now millions of people were following the saga like it was the plot of a thriller, unfolding in real time. Some believed Katt Williams was exaggerating for dramatic effect, the way comedians often do when they are stirring controversy. Others believed he was hinting at something very real about how the entertainment industry protects its power structures. But there was one detail everyone agreed on. Teyana Taylor herself had never publicly confirmed any of these claims. She hadn't accused anyone of blacklisting her. She hadn't spoken directly about the rumors swirling around her career. Instead, she kept posting about her creative work, her family, and the projects she continues to build. And that quiet focus might be the most interesting part of the entire story. Because while the internet argues, speculates, and connects dots across years of entertainment history. She keeps creating music, film, art, stories. And if Katt Williams is right about one thing, it's this. When someone who has spent years inside the industry finally decides to tell their own story, the result can be powerful enough to shake the system that tried to silence it. Right now the truth behind these rumors remains uncertain. But one thing is undeniable. The conversation Katt Williams started has already forced millions of people to look at the entertainment industry in a completely different way. And if the mysterious project Teyana Taylor has been working on ever reaches the public, the next chapter of this story could be far bigger than anyone expected. And now the entire internet is split right down the middle. Because after everything that's come out, the clips, the rumors, the cryptic posts, and the comments from Katt Williams, one question is echoing everywhere. What is really happening to Teyana Taylor behind the scenes? Is Katt Williams exposing something real about how power works in Hollywood? Or is the internet connecting dots that were never meant to form a bigger picture? Because let's be honest, the entertainment industry has a long history of artists speaking out about control, contracts, and creative freedom. And every time someone powerful challenges that system, the reaction can be explosive. But here's the twist. The truth in stories like this almost never comes out all at once. It comes out in pieces. A comment here. A leaked message there. A project that suddenly gets released and makes people see everything differently. And if Teyana Taylor really is working on a project that tells her story the way Katt hinted, that moment could change this entire conversation overnight. So now we want to hear from you. Do you believe Katt Williams is exposing something real about Hollywood power structures? Or do you think the internet has turned one comedian's comments into a much bigger conspiracy? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this debate is heating up fast, and your opinion might be the one everyone starts responding to next. And if you want